Fight for the Iron Kingdoms as a warcaster. Take control of the mighty jacks, arcane devices, and dark sorceries to bring the fight to the War Machine Hub on beastsofwar.com. Progress comes to a world of magic as science and the arcane combine to make marvels. Meet steampunk inventors and orc mystics at the Volsung Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Hi guys, welcome back to What's in the Box. It's time for more Konflikt 47 with Rich and Chez from Warlord.
Hey.
Who have we got today?
We'll continue the theme of the starter sets. Today we're going with the US Army starter sets.
Lovely.
So again, everything in one box. You've got dice, you've got rulers, you've got pin markers, everything, and you've got some rather lovely models, Chez. What do we start with?
Well, absolutely. There's if you want to start cracking open the box, we can dive straight in.
Don't mind if I do.
Full softback rulebook, as we discussed with the same with the German one. It's exactly page for page with the hardback edition, just smaller and lighter and better to carry around. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs that. Then the shelf, which Justin was raving over in the last review about how useful it is, and it is useful. You know,
it's one of those handy things. You know, if I could get every single starter box that ever comes out to have one of these, I'd be a happy bunny.
Yeah, you'd have lots of cardboard.
No. Like I said in the last video, laminate it.
Yes.
You know, put it in a nice folder. You know, okay, which game do I want today? I'm in the mood for Konflikt 47.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to the goodies. Okay.
The real goodies.
The goodies.
Take this back from me.
Now, we started with the tank last time, so it's only fair we start with the tank again this time.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a big fan of the Sherman. It is a beautiful vehicle. What you guys have done to it makes it even better.
Absolutely. So this is the standard Sherman that we sell. Italeri-made kit, so it's beautifully scaled to fit in with the rest of a 28mm line.
Yep. So same as the last time, guys. We are just going to go for a flash in the pan to show it off under the camera. So we've got main top of the hull, tracks. We've got the applique armour to go in front of the actual driver and co-driver hatch and lower hull. So nice and simple.
Yep.
But then on to the business end of things, where we've got the suspension system, drive sprockets, crew, spare arm, 50 cal, beautiful 50 cal, 30 cal by machine gun. We've then got an ammo container, which is the shell ejection port, radio antenna. I believe these are towing hooks, if I'm not very much mistaken. We've then got the gun rest, hatch covers, spare wheels. What are those?
Those exhaust pots on the back, I believe.
Possibly. We've then got gun mantlet and gun mount, rear engine bay, some of the lights. We've got the standard gun. We've got a hatch cover, another road light, lower turret, upper turret. Job done.
Did you say turret there, Justin?
Turret, yes.
Because there's also this piece that goes in the
yes,
as well.
yes. Okay, now this is something I was wondering. Now, you guys have done this with what you've called a Tesla cannon.
Yes.
And look at this thing. It is fantastic. It looks like a lot of fun to actually use, and it looks as if it's going to be deadly in game. Yeah. I like the fact that you cast this as an entire turret, because it means you can build the other turret if you really, really want
Exactly. So you've got the M4 Sherman in there, the regular Sherman you can have with the regular turrets, and without any modification, you can swap out and swap in this Tesla turret as well.
Yeah, now I'm seeing one little bit that needs to glue onto the back of it.
That would be this part here, which is the sort of charging
metal
pack.
component. So if you like to do your glow effects, this is going to be one you're going to have a lot of fun with. So if I'm at a guess, I'm going to guess it goes this way. Yes, because the power connector is connecting that way.
There's also a metal hatch that goes on top.
Aha! So you can build this as a complete separate component and still have your original Sherman at the end of the day.
Exactly. The same way as the Panzer IV, they're completely interchangeable. You can go for the basic one or go for the upgraded T version. Like you say, I mean, any kind of pulse or electrical weaponry like this, the chance for getting a different kind of painting technique into your World War II is just fantastic. It's just a great opportunity.
Not to mention the fact that it's always fun to zap your enemies with lightning. You know, 50,000 volts up the wazoo, not a bad idea.
In game, it fires in two different ways, doesn't it, Chez?
It does, yeah. It fires against regular infantry as like a pulse. It's a lot less powerful, but it does do an extra D6 hits, so that spreads across an infantry unit. But then if it fires directly onto an armoured target, then it will go in at full strength at +7.
I see.
So yeah, two different options there. Pulse or, you know.
Now, you see, I like this sort of versatility that you're working into the vehicles within Konflikt 47. I like the idea that it's not just, I have a tank, it's meant to hunt tanks. No, there's a group of infantry hiding in the bushes there. Let's give them a jolt.
Yeah, they're a juicy target as well.
Yeah.
We still want it to be a platoon-based game, so you still don't want to have 6 or 7 vehicles all doing different things. You want to have 1 or 2 vehicles, and they have to fulfill a number of roles. So this one is really quite, it's up there.
Well, you see, this is the thing. You've done tank war. I would be
think
very tempted to
Justin does want 6 or 7 vehicles, Joes.
Yeah, well, there is that.
They are mildly shiny, but what I would say is, if you really want it, you could actually switch the Force Org from Tank War into this and actually do a nice, Weird World War armored
Why
battle.
would you not? Conflict 47 Tank War. Mech War.
Mech War.
Why not?
Yes. Although not Mech Warrior, because that's already taken.
Walker War. There we go. No, we'll find a name somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
So let's dig further into the kit. We've got some infantry in here. So these are existing US infantry sprues that you'll be familiar with if you're a bolt action player.
We'll quickly shoot through these. So you've got all of your arms, which are done in the separated version. So as always, my advice is glue your gun to your trigger hand first, and then put it on your body, and you'll not have any issues. You have, again, lots of variation. You've got all of the Doughboy packs on the back here. You've got all the little extra bandoliers and stuff down here. More entrenching tools, a kneeling commander, and some bases at the bottom. So how many of these guys do you get in the box?
You've got 4 sprues worth there, so I believe that's 20.
It is.
Yes, it is.
And if that wasn't enough, we also come with 2 of the American weapon sprues as well to give you extra firepower.
This is what I was hoping for, because whenever you have sprues like this that just have all the different, bazookas, rifles, ammo pouches, my favorite of all time, the Thompson submachine gun, one of the most beautiful things ever. BAR, I'm not so much a fan of because it was badly designed. You've then got the Springfield rifle, which is your sniper option, little grease guns there as well. And who doesn't like having shotguns just for a giggle?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the options there for making, again, the same way as the gems, it's very, very important to be able to have HQ options, support weapon options and things. If you're going to be coming across new light mechs or walkers and other tanks, you're going to want to have bazookas.
If I see that little spine light mech, I'm going to want a bazooka just to go, oh, hi there.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, it's a good choice now. I mean, it always was a good choice with the various vehicles going around, but I think in this one even more. People are going to be drawn to these walkers.
Yes.
So, the mechs need to go down.
All right, well, let me grab the next one. Ooh, hello. I'm seeing some heavy infantry.
You are seeing heavy infantry. Now, these are really tough infantry.
Yeah.
So, you've got good soldiers, you've got experienced soldiers, and then you've got super soldiers. So, imagine your most well-experienced infantry in the hardest armour you could think of, walking around with some nice automatic assault rifle style weaponry, and they are tougher to kill than even regular veteran infantry.
Yeah. Good time in a can. So let's have a look at some of these guys. I love this nice big bulky powered armour look that you've got going on here, and there's a couple of different poses in here, so they're not all going to be looking the same, which is something that's always important to me whenever I'm doing this type of game, because I don't want everybody just to be standing around looking like an idiot.
Exactly. We've got separate arms there, each arm individual, and again the head's separate as well, so there's loads of posability in here, and also conversion possibilities as well.
Oh yeah, of course. But the actual way you've redesigned, essentially, it's a drum-fed sort of, I'm not exactly sure, is it a drum-fed 30 cal mounted on their arm, I'm guessing?
It works in a similar way, yeah, absolutely. It's the rules for it exactly the same as an assault rifle, so it's slightly less firepower than a light machine gun, but it is walking around on a tough infantry gun. So 5 of them in a squad.
It's a lot of dice.
This actually makes a lot of sense to me, because what you told me in the German video was that the Americans were the first ones to sort of start researching this technology.
That's right.
So I'm kind of expecting them to be a little more advanced than everybody else. So it's nice to see them have it, that they have infantry that now have this high technology that they can run about with. Yeah, there might not be that many of them, but whenever they land, you're going to know about it.
Absolutely, yeah. The Germans obviously absorbed the information in a quicker way. Historically, they were a lot quicker to the design bench and off the bench as well with all this stuff. So they do catch up very quickly, but in a different way. They take a lot more risks.
Nice.
They do a lot more experimentation. Whereas the Americans,
they've had a little more time to actually be a little bit more sensible with this.
But at the
to
end
a degree.
To a degree. Oh, are we expecting some very, very funky things from America in the future?
We couldn't say.
Oh, come on. Sorry, guys, I tried.
Yes, the future's a bit grisly, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Oh, lovely. All right, our last one in the box for our miniatures. I'm hoping for another light mech. I've got another light mech.
You're so easily pleased. This is great.
I always say that I love every single game out there, and as soon as I see cool new stuff, I get mildly overexcited. I say mildly with caveats, okay, everybody? Caveats. So let's have a look at this. What is this beautiful little creation?
Well, this is the Coyote. It's the lightest walker that the US well, the Allies have, the US and the British share a lot of their tech, which is great.
Now,
Good to know we're still working together.
Yeah. Now, I do like the idea that this is a different style of mech to what Germany has, whereas they've went with a very stable platform with the little four-legged spider mech.
Yeah.
The Allies have been able to actually work in some gyro stabilization to get humanoid mechs onto the battlefield.
Exactly. Each nation have their own sort of specific look. So you'll see things like we've got Russian mechs coming as well. We've got British mechs coming as well. They've all got their own specific sort of aesthetic style.
Yeah, and that was another. I think we gave a shout out in the German unboxing to Russ, Chris, and H over at Clockwork Goblin that have done an amazing job in really giving an identity to all of these mechs, and they are so different from each other. You know, huge, powerful American mechs on two legs running around.
Yeah.
Or with jetpacks.
Yeah, or with jetpacks, or you really don't want them to get hold of you.
Hold the phone.
I said jetpacks.
You said the jetpack
yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Does this have a jetpack?
Was I supposed to say jetpacks?
I
wasn't supposed to say jetpacks, was I?
Okay, we can bleep that bit. We can-
No. It's right there now.
No one mentioned jetpacks. It's fine. Move on.
Oh, okay, guys. One for speculation in the comments, if you please.
There are jetpacks.
There are jetpacks. Oh my god! All right, I love the look of this thing. It's a really cool, different feeling mech. You know, and I can imagine in the last one you said that these mechs can actually go into melee. I'm seeing two massive robotic clawed fists, so I have images of this thing going up to the Panzer Axe and actually just ripping the hatch off and going, "Good morning, here, I've got a gun on my arm."
Yes, well, that's what it represents. I mean, these guys, they actually want to engage with tanks. So I think the best way of describing them, Chris told me one time that you've got your Sherman, well, actually you want a close combat Sherman. So why not have a close combat Sherman? So it's a big, bulking, 35-ton mech that's got huge power fists that'll rip the cannon. It
feels like a more advanced piece of technology than what Germany has.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of refinement, if you want to say it.
It's stylish. Yeah, it certainly is a refined technology. I mean, again, they're equally as powerful as each other, but this one, they look super sleek, and when they get close to you, you really know about it.
Yeah. What exactly are the weapons on this little guy?
That one's just got a 30 cal and a 50 cal.
This is just a 30 cal and a 50
cal?
cal?
Well, this is a one-man operated mech.
Yeah.
So it is a light walker, the same way as the German one.
The spinner.
I don't really mind because it's a fair amount of firepower to actually just be walking about with.
You only fire one per turn. So because it's one guy, one targeting operating system, so you can either have the shoulder-mounted 50 cal or the wrist-mounted 30 cal. So, but you imagine he's also in control of walking, and the gyro stabilizers do some amount of work, but he's still got to get it there, and he's concentrating on assaulting. So, it kicks out a decent amount of dice. It's going to pin the opponent before he gets there. Gets in and rips your face off.
Just to re-emphasise the phrase "close combat Sherman."
Yes,
close combat.
One of my favourite phrases from this so far.
This is the lightest version of what you will see of these the American mechs as well. So there are bigger ones. There are ones that would eat this for breakfast.
Yes. Okay. Now,
almost literally as well.
In the German video, I was loving the look of the German stuff, but in this video, I'm loving the look of the American stuff.
Yes.
You're giving me a real tough decision as to which to go for.
And these are the very first releases. There's a lot more to come. There's bigger things, there's nastier things, there's weirder things, there's a lot weirder things as well. So this is just the first taster.
Okay, my inner geek is just squeeing right now, just going, "Oh my god, when? Yes. Give it to me." It's beautiful stuff. Okay, now, as with the other starter set, we have our pin markers, which are really handy. You're not going to confuse them on the battlefield, like I said.
Exactly.
And you've got a nice little set of dice. And, you've actually changed the color compared to the Germans, whereas they had red and black, these are green and white.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get confused between you and your mates whose dice is what. And,
Exactly.
None of those friendly arguments of, "No, those are mine. No, they're mine."
That's consistent through the starter sets as well. All of the different forces will have a different dice in them, just so you're never going to, if you buy a different force to your opponent, you're going to have different coloured dice.
Yeah.
You're never going to get confused.
If you're rolling at the same time and they sort of muddle together, you're not going to be confused about who rolled what.
Yeah, exactly.
And just to go back over that, say the other forces are getting starter sets. So there is talk of a British starter set coming quite soon, as well as a Russian starter set as well. So all you guys out there waiting for those, there's not an awful lot longer to wait, but as soon as we can get any pictures and photos and previews out to you guys particularly as well, we'll show you some interesting things.
Get your regular forces started and wait for the heavy infantry.
Yeah.
I tell you the one thing I want to see from Russia. Now I know it's probably a pipe dream, but I want to see Serbian bear cavalry. Oh dear.
We can't
Close but no cigar.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, another one to speculate on. What would you want to actually see in the British and the Russian forces? Tell you what, you guys have the built and painted versions of these again, so let's take a quick break and we'll have a look at them. Okay, guys, we are back with the Americans for Conflict 47. They look fantastic when they're on the tabletop. So I'm going to start off with the Tesla Sherman, because once you actually have this thing built, it is beautiful. And like I said, you see having that nice glow effect along the barrel, it really gives it that flavor of, okay, this is beyond World War II. Something strange is happening here.
Yeah, and this is a very simple way of getting the glowing effect on this tank. You see it up close, and you actually think it's achievable. It's very, very quick to do a couple of layers, a bit of gloss varnish underneath, and a few highlights, and it's all about the contrast between that and the rest of the tank. I think that makes it pop.
Yeah, well, you see, it's one thing that John has always discussed with me whenever I try to paint glow effects. Now, I've tried a few times to do it, and varying degrees of success. Looking at this, seeing that nice olive drab, and then that just bang, electric blue right in your face, it really jumps out and it really looks cool. The only other place I would maybe have put a little bit of a glow on this myself is, you see, if I could have done it inside the ports here, you know, and then just cleaned up around that, I think that would really make the tank look really amazing as well. But overall, it looks like a tank that it's been through the wars a little bit. This is not something that's rolling fresh out of the factory. You know, it looks like an actual fighting vehicle, is what I'm trying to say here. It still has that real world engineering feel, which I quite like about it.
I'd like to see somebody try and get the effect looking like a pulse going down the barrel. Perhaps I'm not quite sure. There's a challenge.
Jez, you just keep issuing challenges to yourself here, mate.
Well, how about go one step further? How about someone put an LED inside there and actually make it glow?
That could work as well. Because I have seen some lighting kits floating about out there. If I was doing that...
It's a hollow vehicle itself, so that kind of lends itself to it.
Yeah, well, you see, what I would do is, I would bore all the way down the barrel, put a very, very small LED in right at the end, and then bore up through to actually feed the cables down and around into the actual vehicle, and then have my battery pack inside the hollowed out vehicle.
Exactly.
Which I think would possibly work the best way. If anyone out there is handy with your LED work and you want to give this a go, feel free to actually just fire me an email and let me show this off again at some point.
Exactly.
The other stuff we get is, of course, we get our standard infantry. Now, as always, any army, its infantry is always its backbone. Without the men to drive the tanks, the men to march up the fields, you're not going anywhere. So having a nice set of infantry to go along with this, in your games, it's going to let you actually get that feel and flavour of how the Americans play, because I'm assuming these guys still have some of their special rules from Bolt Action, or do they have different rules for this?
No, they carry their rules right across. So they fulfill exactly the same role as they would have done in your regular Bolt Action forces. So you need them to take the objectives. You need them to go and capture things.
Yeah, and you need them to kill the Germans.
And you need them to kill the Germans, exactly. Mechs can't do all the work. Give them some days off. But again, the options are there for your HQ and things, and it is just the multiple poses that you can get out of just 5 or 6 different bodies is just phenomenal.
If you read the Warlord newsletter at all, I have hacked the American infantry kit to pieces to make 1 million medics, to make weird dioramas of bolt action models playing bolt action. I've had all kinds of weird cavalry conversions and all sorts. So the plastics are really convertible as well. So I say, of these 20 figures you get in the box set, you can do all kinds of things. So I say, it's worth poring over the rulebook that you get in the box set and going through all the different units you can make, because you can make the majority of them in the rulebook from just this one kit.
Yeah, and again, if you already have American forces, you can fold these guys straight in.
Exactly.
And next up, I want to show off our heavy infantry, because these guys just look absolutely badass once you get them down on the tabletop.
They are
very mean, very purposeful. They actually look like a squad that you would see in the field out doing their stuff. And I love the fact that you can actually tell where the little power pack on the back of the suits is. You know, it's very, very cool. And again, real world engineering in this kind of stuff, it makes it feel right whenever it's on the table. You know, it doesn't feel like you're looking at it going, now, how the hell would that work? Why is that connected there? No, this actually feels like it should work, as if it would function.
If you can suspend disbelief for a moment, you know, these figures allow you to do that, because they don't make you question it too much. I mean, especially as if you can see the squad leader there with his marking us up. He's, you know, still a huge guy, smoking a cigar. Like every, you know, American NCO should.
Exactly.
Absolutely brilliant. You know, you just automatically fit straight into the American force.
Yeah, and it's that character that you can start to imagine the stories that these guys would be telling and actually working out as you fight across the battlefield.
And like I said before, you can go as weird as you want. So you could, in theory, get multiple squads of these. They've all got separate arms, separate heads to repose. You could have an elite force of multiple units of heavy infantry as well to have this really, you know, this absolute Death Star unit.
Well, you see, what I would be very tempted to do is actually do a full head swap on that unit and do an entire army of Black Berets.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just something special forces if you're going down that route.
Again, I mean, making a background for these guys, you can create regiments, you can create conflicts that have happened. We've given it a setting, but we haven't dictated what has happened in those years. So they would have fought in various places around the globe.
There's a huge blank canvas for you to just paint all kinds of weirdness. It's great.
Speaking of painting, myself and John got mildly overexcited whenever this came in.
Mildly.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this looks on camera. Actually, this is a great little project.
Yeah, now you saw the Coyote unbuilt. Basically, whenever we got this in, I actually built one and started painting it.
We couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
We tried.
So after I was finished painting it, John came along, looked at it and went, yeah, that looks really nice. And then he proceeded to take a paintbrush to it himself. So I think this was maybe 2 hours work, and this is what we ended up with. Say hello to Lucky Lucy, the first Beast of War Coyote light mech. It's a really cool looking little thing. I love what John actually did with the visor here, and the fact that he's painted a little name on it and a little declaration on the side. He's also got its squad markings and stuff down, and it just shows you within 2 hours, this is how good you can get this to look very, very quickly.
I mean, that went together in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I built this in, say, 5 minutes flat, had it painted within 40 minutes to my level, and John then spent, I think, maybe another 30 minutes on it to bring it up to this level.
Yeah.
And it has that nice heavy feel to it, you know.
Yeah.
And I did argue with John a little bit that I think the green is a little more British than American. But that just comes down to your own personal thoughts on what it should be like.
Of course.
Because now we're into Weird World War, you can sort of change the tones and the colour schemes a little bit. I mean, like, I wouldn't mind seeing that with a touch of camouflage on it.
I mean, you could change colour schemes a lot. You could have reds, you could have purples, you could have bright blues.
No, Rich, stop.
No?
No, behave. Bad Rich. Very bad Rich.
What nice Warlord red. We could have a little Warlord.
British Para Burgundy, I think.
Exactly.
Well, we're waiting on the British, as you said.
Well, yeah, absolutely. They did share a lot of this tech, so I can see a lot of British players out there getting impatient and just buying the American starter set, painting up it all as British, and why not?
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, who to say that the desert version wouldn't be some kind of weird colour, and the jungle version, or why would you? The paint schemes that you can do on these things, the camo schemes are endless. Again,
see, what I would love to see this painted up as is this particular vehicle. I would love to see it done in a nice Arctic scheme, so a nice light grey, as if it's just been whitewashed over it as quickly as they could to fight in an Arctic setting, with sort of this colour scheme showing through in beneath.
And just imagine what you'd encounter in the Arctic if you're fighting, all the kinds of strange creatures that might be coming out of the Warlord Design Studio in the future.
Oh, you
never
tease.
know.
You absolutely tease, Rich.
Russians riding polar bears.
That's what I want. I want to see a Serbian, cavalry unit charging out of the north, with polar bears with guns mounted on their flanks.
Okay.
And I was going too far with red armour. Yeah. But no, polar bears with guns on their flanks, that's fine.
There are mad scientists in this world.
There are. The Norwegian SEAL
There are not
division
mad
will have to be
decorators
put back
in this world. There are mad scientists.
Literally SEAL division.
Yeah, it is. Norwegians on SEALs. Yeah.
No. You heard it here first.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we'll close it off at that. Guys, I love how Konflikt 47 is looking. The models are beautiful. They go together really easily. They paint up beautifully. Drop your comments below. Has this tempted you to actually take that step from your normal World War II into a little bit of Weird World War? Drop us a comment below. We'll move on. We will see you in another video.
Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War Hub. Take command of elves, dwarves and orcs in this game of masked fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com. From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com.